Hey guys, what's up? It's CS back here with another installment, and here are my picks for UFC 155, Dos Santos versus Velasquez 2. First off, sorry about not making picks for the last couple of cards. Of course, they were for the tough finales, and yeah, I just did not feel like commenting on mediocrity, so that's that. But as for this card, it looks pretty fun top to bottom. I'm looking forward to at least 7 of these fights on this card, so yeah, we'll see what we got. Like usual, preliminary card picks in the description below. And yeah, let's start off at the main event between Cain Velasquez and Junior Dos Santos in a rematch for the heavyweight championship. Now you can pretty much pick one of two outcomes, either a knockout by Junior Dos Santos or some sort of finish by Cain Velasquez. I'm pretty sure if Cain gets this thing to the ground, if he actually does, it's over. Junior, I have no faith in this guy's scrambling ability just because of what I saw from Cain against a black belt and what's-his-face, Antonio Bigfoot Silva. From what I know, that guy's a little bit more of a seasoned veteran on the ground. I figured he'd be able to protect himself better than, say, a Junior Dos Santos, and he just bathed in his own blood, you know what I'm saying? So I don't expect much from Junior. I know Junior has pretty good hips. Maybe he might be able to get a butterfly guard if, what's-his-face, if Cain is on top of him and shit. Maybe he's going to be able to defend against stuff. But I'm going to say no, just because Cain that's his shit, He likes being on top, pounding, away at you. And I'm pretty sure he knows how to do it within many kind of guards, you know what I'm saying? So I got to go with Cain if it hits the ground, because most likely he's going to be on top. As far as him getting it there, again, Junior has pretty good hips. And not only that, he has good footwork. And he's athletic. So we kind of saw it in his last couple fights. He pretty much danced around, what's-his-face, Frank Mir up until Frank Mir just got knocked out. He's going to be able to pick his shots as long as it's on the feet, He really has decent confidence in his ability to stuff takedowns. It's just a mindset some fighters who fight stand-up have. It's either you don't or you do, and he's not going to be afraid to throw. And you're more so afraid for going for the takedown than he is about getting taken down. And I think that's really big for him. I think that's going to win him this fight. I know Cain's going to go after that takedown. I know he's going to want to. But, Junior is electric with those hands. He's not going to be afraid to throw him. Cain does not have the best striking defense. I think he's going to be hit by some sort of combination. Maybe just a single punch and then drop with some more, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I'm going to go with Junior Dos Santos to win sometime in the first round via TKO due to strikes. Now, that's not the most comfortable pick because of Cain's ability to take people down and ground and pound them. Until I see Junior Dos Santos on his back, I'm going to continue to pick him against anyone unless it's Alistair Overeem. But yeah, let's move on to the co-main event between lightweights, Joe Lauzon and Jim Miller. Yeah, this looks like a pretty sick fight, guys. Joe Lauzon always brings it out the gate. Electric first rounds. The guy can really go after people, with his plethora of strikes. Not the most technical, but, he can get you in the clinch, land some elbows, land some knees. His boxing's okay. His striking defense not the greatest, but he's going after you 100 miles per hour in the first round. So it's not like, you're going to have a chance to respond and hit him with something, that good. Against Jim Miller, Jim Miller's weathered the storm against a ton of guys, and I really don't think his chin's deteriorated that much. I think he's going to be able to handle whatever Joe Lauzon throws at him and, not get knocked down and finish with a sub. I don't think he's going to get taken down or beat up in the clinch. I think Jim Miller's that good. I think he's the definition of a top 10 gatekeeper in that division. And I think he's going to block Joe Lauzon out of this, mainly because of Joe Lauzon's cardio. Again, I said Joe Lauzon has electric first rounds, and maybe he might have some energy in the second. And I know he finished Jamie Varner in the third in that fight. But, this guy in Jim Miller is a little bit more physically demanding of a fighter. He fights everywhere. He'll match you up against the cage. He can cage and prey himself. He can take you down, and he likes to move forward. Jamie Varner more so likes to pick his shots and hopefully knock you out. Jim Miller is going to go after you. So I think that's going to not bode so well for Joe Lauzon come the later parts of this fight or as this fight gets older. And I think that Jim Miller will be able to set the pace eventually for maybe a late finish, but more so a TKO. I think he's going to be able to out-wrestle Joe Lauzon in the later rounds and outstrike him and just win the fight wherever it goes. Let's move on to a middleweight bout. This one's between Tim Boetsch and Konstantinos Philippou. Now, Costa is pretty solid with the hands, Golden Glove boxer. Knockdown power in either, and yeah, as long as he's not afraid to throw, he has a pretty good shot at winning most fights in the middleweight division. Of course, he has to defend takedowns and stuff. His footwork's pretty good, but I don't think he's going to be able to shake off Tim Boetsch if Tim Boetsch decides to take him down. I hope that Tim Boetsch does not have that syndrome that wrestlers develop by wanting to stand with people after they get a knockout. Tim Boetsch really should stick to his bread and butter as far as clinching up with guys and taking them down, or being an okay double leg guy. As long as he grabs a hold of Costa, he's going to bring this guy down, and that's all he needs. Tim Boetsch, pretty good positionally on the ground. I know Costa works out of Matt Serra's gym. He knows how well, he's pretty aware on his back, but I'm pretty sure Tim Boetsch is going to be able to crucifix this guy and land elbows from the top. Something like that, maybe a submission, maybe even get Costa's back. But it's Tim Boetsch's world once it gets to the mat, because that's what he wants to do, of course. Costa wants to keep this standing, and I'm really not sure how well he's going to do so. I think this is a big step up in competition for him. Tim Boetsch, arguably top 10 guy. I just don't think Costa has the stuff to beat him as far as being good enough at sprawling and brawling. So I'm going to go with Tim Boetsch via, I'm going to say, a second round TKO due to strikes. So I'm picking that Tim Boetsch to win via that ground and pound. And now moving on, we have Yushin Okami versus Alan Belcher. Of course, Okami did lose to Tim Boetsch a couple fights ago. That was ugly. He pretty much quit after he gassed against Boetsch. Boetsch decided to throw. He decided to get tired. He decided to just not defend, and therefore he got knocked out. He deserved it. Against Alan Belcher, he cannot sleep on this guy. Alan Belcher is nuts as far as the kickboxing. Technically good with the kicks, the punches, knees, elbows in the clinch. He's just a very solid stand-up fighter. Not many guys that are better than him in terms of stand-up in that division. Of course, there's the obvious in like Anderson Silva, maybe like a Vitor Belfort, but not many cats want to stand with this guy, in my opinion. I think that Okami has to get this down to the ground right at the gate. If not, charge this guy, get this thing into the clinch, and just not allow Belcher to unload, get the underhooks, that kind of shit. Just don't get hit, because Anderson Silva pretty much just shook this boy up permanently. Yushin Okami, I don't think, has the same mindset as he had before. He just does not like to get hit. No one likes to get hit, I understand that, but this guy just wilts when he does. And I think that Alan Belcher can just unleash one combo, and that might be it for this boy in Yushin Okami. So you guys know where I'm going with this. I am going to pick Alan Belcher, because I do think it's only a matter of X amount of strikes to just put away Yushin Okami. I think it's very likely to happen. I think Belcher will have, sometime within this fight, enough space to just be able to unload with, a few kicks and a few punches. And I think he's going to be able to knock down that big boy in Yushin Okami and finish him with more strikes. I'm going to say it happens in the first round. So yeah, bold pick, TKO via strikes from Alan Belcher. And the bout kicking us off on the main card, the last bout I'm going to talk about, it's another middleweight one between Derek Brunson and Chris Leben. Guys, tough fight to call, because, Chris Leben, with the drugs and the layoff, and I'm not sure if he's injured or shit. I'm not sure how hard he's training. How do I calculate his odds of winning against someone he should really beat, Derek Brunson? Sure, Derek Brunson has a skill set to beat him, but he just does not seem like the guy who follows the game plan to a T. And even if he does, you probably can beat him there somehow. Like, he lost to a jiu-jitsu guy standing up. That ain't good. What happens if he's gonna take Chris Leben down? Maybe Chris Leben's working his guard. I don't know. There's just not a heck of a whole lot of good that I've seen out of Derek Brunson's game, maybe against lower level fighters, but I do believe that Chris Leben, might be able to just do something electric against this guy, even on the ground. I'm just saying, I just don't think Derek Brunson's that good, and really, he's only been brought here, in my opinion, as fodder for Chris Leben to get back on track. So I think Chris Leben pretty much beats him everywhere. Sure, Derek Brunson can follow Greg Jackson's game plan, but how hungry is he going to be in terms of trying to follow that game plan? Because if Greg Jackson's going to design a game plan for this guy, it's going to be clinch up with him immediately, take him down to the ground. I'm not sure if he does that right off the gate. I'm going to go with Chris Leben to tag him before it happens. Win via first round TKO due to strikes. That's one thing I have faith in Chris Leben for, is his power. And Derek Brunson's chin ain't that good, because again, he got knocked out by a jiu-jitsu guy in Jacare Souza. So there it is, first round TKO due to strikes for Chris Leben. So there it is, everyone. Hope you guys enjoyed my picks for UFC 155, Dos Santos versus Velasquez 2. Again, preliminary card picks in the description below. Again, thank you for all the support. Yeah, if you guys celebrate Christmas, Merry Christmas, Festivus, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, whatever you guys into, enjoy that shit, celebrate time with your family. Have fun in the new year, 2013. I'm definitely going to be looking forward to that. So yeah, I think that about does it for me. I think I ranted on long enough, and take care.